What if I told you that relying on inspiration is the biggest mistake you're making in your creative journey? That's right. Not only is relying on inspiration a myth, it's actually a trap. In this video, I'm going to show you why inspiration should never be your source of motivation. And most importantly, I'm going to share with you 3 practical strategies to ensure you never have to rely on it again. We've been sold a lie. The idea that great art and great work only comes when inspiration strikes is simply not true. In fact, I believe it's the biggest thing that's holding you back from doing your best work. Let's break this down. Inspiration is a finite resource. In the beginning, inspiration feels limitless. You might watch a movie, scroll through social media, or maybe listen to a motivational speech that just pumps you up. But here's the thing, this feeling doesn't last forever. Imagine listening to an inspiring speech every day for a week. The first day feels absolutely amazing, but by day 5, the power and the impact of that speech starts to lose its power. And that's because inspiration is a finite resource, and that resource runs out. You can't rely on it to fuel your creativity every day. For the good or the bad, human beings adapt very quickly. And in this fast-paced world where every day we're bombarded with new stimuli, it's just not gonna cut it. The truth is, if you wait for inspiration to strike, you'll waste more time than actually creating. And over time, it will become harder and harder to find that spark. Number 2, creativity is a skill. This is one of the most overlooked truths about creativity. Just like learning an instrument or mastering a sport, creativity requires practice. You don't just wake up one day with a creativity professional. It's something you work on, like any other skill. Day after day, putting in the work. This is where consistency is more important than talent. And even with talent, there is levels to this. Where you start doesn't matter. It's where you end up. And it's how much work you're willing to put in to get there. When you embrace creativity as a skill, you shift your mindset and you stop worrying about the perfect idea. Instead, you start working and honing your craft, building momentum, and letting those ideas come from your daily practice. Number 3, tough seasons are part of the journey. Now, I'm sure you've been there before. You've hit a plateau. You're still doing the work though, but there's no breakthroughs. It feels like there's no progress. And you're just hoping and you're waiting for that moment that if you spend a little bit more time, that inspiration will eventually just pull you out of that rut. Well, here's the reality. Inspiration doesn't work that way. Those ruts, that plateau, is actually where the growth happens. This is something you should come to expect. It's not a setback, it's part of the process. And if you keep showing up, even when things don't feel like they're improving, that's where your great ideas, that's where the great work will find you. Because it finds you working. It doesn't find you waiting for things to happen. This is where most people give up. But I assure you, if you stay consistent and you work through that breakthrough, you will reach a moment of clarity where everything will finally start to come together. But this only happens after these seasons of a lot of hard work, and usually when you least expect it. So now let's get to the good stuff. Action creates inspiration. I can't tell you how many times I've sat at my desk, I'm making music, I'm working on things, and I'm creating beat after beat, song after song. And it's almost there, but it's just not there. And then I make that one more that I didn't really care about. I'm kind of throwing it in the wind, and that's the one. That's the song I've been waiting for. But again, it's only come after all this work. When I thought, it's just not working, maybe I don't have it. Then finally that inspiration strikes. Taking a break, deciding not to make music because it's just not my best work has never worked for me. It's worked from sitting down, doing the work, and just allowing myself to enjoy the process. And no, there is much more garbage and there's much more terrible stuff that comes out of showing up and doing the work. But every piece of music I've ever made, every project I've ever worked on hasn't come because I was at the right place at the right time. It's come from being at the same place, sitting at my desk, same time, just working on it daily, doing the grind. And I'll tell you, there's a lot more terrible ideas than I've had than good ideas. But that's necessary. That's all part of the journey. That's all part of your story. And that's why we are to embrace the journey. It's so easy to romanticize about the process of creation. We watch so many movies, hear documentaries, on social media, all about people that have these incredible stories, creating these incredible things. But we forget that we're often drawn to these stories because of the struggle that took place before reaching the top. The moments things seemed impossible, that's the part of the journey we can all relate to, and it gives us a sense of hope. That's why we feel connected to these things. When you embrace the struggle, when you push through the tough times, That's where the magic happens. Unfortunately, we don't get to skip the hard work, and that's okay because that's where the growth is. So there's nothing wrong with you. You're on the journey like everybody else. This is a necessary evil, and this is the only way we're actually going to produce our greatest work. So here's my challenge for you. Think of that one creative project, that one creative thing that you have just been waiting for inspiration to strike. What's one small thing you can do today to start that creative project? Drop your comments down below. I want to hear how you're taking action and making progress. And if this video resonated with you, I'd absolutely love if you like the video and hit that subscribe button for more content that helps keep you focused and on track. And remember that showing up is the secret, the journey is the point. Keep pushing, keep being creative. You got this. Peace.